So, welcome aboard, happy people. This is a very exciting conversation I've been looking forward to. Both of our guests, Sonya and Samira, are forces of nature. They have this in their bones. They care, they give a damn. So, I'm really looking forward to letting them have a conversation and maybe having them tell more of their story. So, Sonia, will you give us kind of a quick overview of how you got here?
Oh, wow. So Sonya Thomas, executive director for Nashville Propel. I'm somebody's mama. I started doing this work when I took a parent advocacy fellowship here in Nashville and learned about the landscape of education and realized that I was not alone. My son, who was struggling from kindergarten, was struggling. I did not know why until I went through this parent advocacy fellowship and realized we had a systemic failure. When he was in the seventh grade, I switched schools. He was not doing well and realized that he was reading on a seventh grade reading level. I mean, a second grade reading level
Hmm.
in the seventh grade. And it wasn't that when I listened to him, like he sounded like he could read. It's so much about reading that people don't understand that needs to
Yeah.
be unpacked. And it's just not about listening to your kid read or having them read it to you. But I do this work because I never want another parent or grandparent to feel the way that I felt when I realized that my son was not getting the education that he needed and he deserves. And so to date, I have organized of over 11,000 parents across the city of Nashville.
That's awesome. Excellent. Samira, can you give us a little backstory of how you got here?
Sure. So my name is Samira Hardcastle. I'm a former Metro teacher. I taught middle school math and middle school art. And I have recently blown up because I resigned in May as teacher of the year and blue ribbon teacher of the year for the district as well. But I resigned and then I blew up because I spoke against some of the practices of the school board.
Hmm. So, Samira, this is both infuriating and inspiring at the same time. So, what you guys both are doing, I want to keep it. It's easy to kind of get upset and go, "What in the actual heck is going on here?" But
Mhm.
slow us down and talk about the situation that happened with you as far as changing grades. And this
Mhm.
is in art class, right?
Yes, this was an art class.
This wasn't
Um,
trigonometry or math.
no,
This is an
they
easy grade,
yeah, it should have
right?
been. And
Tell
and
what happened?
so basically, we were doing a project. It was a competitive project. You know, everybody has to do it for a grade, but the winners would be, they would have their artwork at the Titan Stadium. So it was kind of a fun competition. This student in particular didn't complete her project. I gave her the grade she earned, and my students know they get one retake. If you get below a 70, you're allowed to do it one more time. She did not attempt the retake, and she came crying to me on the last day of her 9 week class saying, you have to change my grade. I said, that I gave you what you earned. She told me she was also failing math and some other things, but that she needed to get on AB honor roll. And so this project
Hmm.
brought her course average down, I think, to a C. And so ultimately, she went to the bathroom, cried, and got on the phone with her mom, which is another thing. We're not allowed to have phones in school. And her mom was up there within the hour complaining. And this is a parent who threatens lawsuits like left and right. So, the district met and ultimately made us change the grade. I wouldn't do it, so my principal had to change the grade. But again, the district was the ones who dictated that.
Wow. And so you kind of blew up in your when you went before the board and
Right.
you gave an explanation of what happened and why you're resigning. And
Yeah.
you're one of the good ones. Like
Thank you.
you you're the kind of teacher that should be promoted and
I
over
appreciate
other teachers, right? You're not just phoning it in. You're the
it.
teacher of the year, blue ribbon. So how do you think this is by design, or is it just the bloated system that is just unmanageable? Do you think this is on purpose? How can
I
this?
think I don't think that it's on purpose necessarily. I mean, I think some of the policies that have put in place were they started with good intentions. However, it just slowly became a mess. I believe No Child Left Behind
Right.
started with good intentions. It was to make sure we're keeping the kids up where they need to be, but behind the scenes, those policies are not actually helping our children. And then I think that it became an issue where they just don't want to have combative parents. They think that appeasing them solves the issue, but they're just putting a band-aid over cancer. It's what
Yeah.
it feels like.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're doing the student a favor.
Right.
I mean, that's the way the world works. If
Yes.
you don't show up and do X, it's like there's 10 other people behind you
Yeah.
who will. So you're changing the grades kind of robs them of the ability to get better, dig in,
Mm-hmm.
figure out their work style, their work ethic.
No, for
Um,
sure.
yeah, that's amazing. So why why do you care so much? And Sonya, I want to ask you this too. It's like this is a heavy freaking lift. Like you guys could be doing other stuff any day of the week.
Yeah.
Why do you care?
For me, I care about the students. Not, I mean, I do particularly care about my students that I have in class, but I care about students across the nation because, as cliche as it sounds, they are the future of America. So, you
100%.
know, it makes those are people you interact with daily, and it's been happening for so long that there have been students who are now adults and they are mismanaging the jobs that they have. So, I care
Mm,
for numerous reasons. I care about the child, in my heart, but I also care about the future of our society.
I love that.
Thank you.
You asked Samira something early on about whether or not this is intentional. I'm going to say that it is. So this goes way beyond, one incident.
This
Um,
isn't just Nashville.
this is just not just Nashville, and this is about money. This is about power. This is about low expectations.
Right.
This is about school districts getting accolades to say that they're doing something. Look, this is what I always say about public education. It's the biggest heist they ever seen because
Mm,
nobody has to do what they say they're going to do. Okay. So we launched a campaign back in 2024 around the hidden literacy crisis. And
yeah.
the demand that we had is related actually to this conversation. We said report cards lie.
Mm,
Report cards are lying to parents.
I
Those
love that.
report cards are coming home. Parents are thinking that their kids are okay,
Yeah.
but they should. They should send their kids into the building and be like, okay, my kid is mastering this and they're mastering that. And so we demanded a redesign of the report cards across the state of
Mm,
Tennessee. And we actually got a law passed around this where the schools not only have to send home the report card, but they have to send home reading and math data because the math wasn't mathing. Report
yeah.
card said that the kid was okay, but when you looked at all of their assessments for the fall, the winter, and the spring, and then you get to TCAP, which is the dance, is what I call it.
Yeah.
It wasn't lining up, and so we wanted to activate parents to question this. Why is it that my kid is doing well on their report card, passing,
Right.
but they can't read and they cannot do math on grade level? So you ask me why I care. These are people's babies.
Right.
These are babies. These are children.
Mhm.
And the adults are okay. See, all of these
Mm,
adults who are part of the system, they're fine. They're gonna get their paycheck.
right.
They're gonna go. Some of the district office people, they got six figures coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even know what the hell that they do every day.
Yeah.
But these are kids who are going to leave high school, okay,
Yeah.
and got to live in a city where you got to at least average $89,000 a year
Right.
to even have a plentiful life. So these are babies. I look at these kids as babies, and this is not their fault.
Yeah.
The
No.
adults are not doing what they supposed, whether it is the school district not following their policy, which I'm gonna say that their policy around the grade policy grading was implemented in August of 2025. So they have reviewed it. They know what it looks like.
Mhm.
But we're talking about babies, and we're talking about a parent should not go to the school and demand, that the grade be changed. And for most parents, that's not what they want.
Right.
Most parents don't want you to they want you to tell them the truth, whether or not the
Yes.
kid is reading on grade level. And it sounds like that nobody was being truthful in that situation as
Yeah.
well as others.
It's so infuriating. So in a sense, they're being robbed.
Mhm.
These kids don't have a chance if they're just being passed. And I mean, they're going to hit 18 and go, what do I do?
Yep.
Hmm. So, I mean, it's not the teacher's fault. I mean, there's some genuinely good teachers in the system, but it seems to me from an outsider, like the system just chews up good teachers and spits them out, which it looks like that's Samira's experience, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got into this well-meaning, you gave a damn, you cared, and look, they're forcing one of the best teachers in Nashville ISD to quit and, you know, pull the parachute string.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like exploitation. I mean, I feel like 2% of our job is teaching because we have so many other
Mm.
tasks. We have so many other things and hoops that we have to jump through to just care about the children. Um, and then, the children who can't read, you want to teach them how to read, but we don't have time for it, or we're not allowed to because we have to teach them their grade level standards. And it is disheartening to know that you can sit in my class. I know you can't read, and I'm not allowed to teach you how to read.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's very
Wow.
sad. It's this is not a blame on teachers. Like this should
No.
never be something. And I have worked really hard to make sure that parents and teachers become change agents.
Yeah.
And in this moment, I think this is the opportunity for us to do so.
Yeah. So if you had Adrian Battle here, I mean, what would be your message? Director of schools for Nashville ISD. Cut to the chase. And what do you say to Adrian Battle?
I think we're missing the power map in here. It's not Adrian Battle. Look, it's a school board of
Okay.
nine school board members. They have one
Okay.
job. They have one employee. We got to start there because she's
Okay.
only allowed to do what those nine people on that board allow her to do. They have one employee. They see this. We got lawsuits going everywhere. Right? They're
Mm.
they're actually they feel like honestly that they're protecting her. And this
Right.
goes back to several seats back when you had Sharon Gentry and Christian Bugs and all of those people in there. They wanted to protect Dr. Battle as she transitioned in and Sean Joseph transitioned out. And what they've done is set her up for moments like this because they're not doing a board member should be advising you.
Hmm.
And a board member should be your boss and should be putting in like recommendations. I don't think that those nine board members are doing their job. And for
Hmm.
Dr. Battle, I'm going to say time's up. That's what I
Mm.
would tell her. Time is up. We need
Mhm.
somebody in there
Yeah.
who is going to listen to the educators and listen to parents.
What about you, Samira? What do you say to the board, Adrian Battle?
I agree, and I don't know. It's such a systemic, like deeply systemic issue that there's no one thing that's gonna change it. I mean, you
Yeah.
can say switch out the board members, but I mean, they need to evaluate what their morals and what they align to be, the way to go about education, the system, and stop putting money first, put these kids first. Stop worrying about, how you're gonna look and just be honest about the data. Like just flat out say our kids are struggling and we're doing something about it.
And
Um,
that's okay. I mean, if kids are
yeah,
behind, it's like you have to
yes.
be
You
where
have
you
to,
are,
yes,
right?
exactly.
It's
And it starts with acknowledging that we're not doing what we need to do. We're not where we want to be. And I think that that's important, because like, you know, how the parents were saying, they got an A, their kid has an A, they think they're okay, and in reality, they're completely behind. And I think they're doing that with the data to adults. I mean,
Yeah.
educated adults. They're saying, "Oh, we have all this great data," but
Yeah.
no, it's not true.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, Samira. The vanity metrics of these schools that say, we're at gold standard school.
Mm-hmm.
So that's saying we're trending in the right direction.
Yes.
But the real data of, I think, Sonya, in one of your reports, you said that reading, was it 30%, 30% of kids were at reading level. African American students were at 20%. That, does that
So,
sound right?
so we just did a report around, it's called the Black Paper. I think what you're referring to is when we did the hidden literacy crisis. At that
Okay.
time in 2024, less than 30% of the kids were reading on grade level. And so then you had, you've got your literacy laws that are kind of helping us to kind of see some growth, but then you have to ask who's growing.
Yeah.
What demographic of children are actually growing is the question that I always ask people to ask. Right now, I believe we have like 34.8% of the kids reading on grade level, but I always say an F is an F, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Although we're seeing some bright spots and things are getting a little better. I agree with Samira. Like we just can't be sitting around having parades and singing songs
Yeah.
like things like we're not in crisis mode. We still have a
Right.
crisis here.
Yeah.
And Sonia, I want to add to that. I mean, even that data is skewed, and not in terms of, who can read and who can't. Well, I guess it is, but when we're looking at the demographics of our kids, if I go on their profile, some of that is inaccurate. Our white population, we don't have much of a white population in my school specifically. But the numbers are higher, and those kids are actually like, other ethnicities, and so I would argue that even those numbers are skewed.
So to clarify, what you're saying is someone could be classified as a white student, and
Yes.
there's not necessarily a white student, but they
Correct.
identify as being a white student.
Yes.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. I say we have a systemic failure, and none of our students
Yes.
are where they need to be. And that's what my movement, although we focus on Black students because there's
Mhm.
such an achievement gap with
Yeah.
Black students,
Yes.
um, our movement has been about all students. We know if we get that right with Black and Latino students, we're
Hmm.
going to get it right for everybody.
Right.
And so, I am aware of that. And that's why I keep fighting about data transparency.
Right.
Data,
And
tran-
even, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry, I was going to just say, even putting this data, we've been sending out data to parents, and these parents are on low reading levels. They don't know what that means. So I think that it is important to not only put the data out, but put it in layman's terms, put it where they can understand. Say, instead of saying like 98th percentile, those parents don't know what that means. Like, say, here's the class, and little Johnny is here. I think that would
Yeah.
help as well.
Yeah.
It needs to be this simple. Is
Yeah,
Johnny reading on grade level and doing
right.
math on grade level?
Mhm.
Yes or no?
Correct.
Right. Right.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at what point, like I'm looking at some data here. So nearly 1 trillion a year is spent on K through 12. That's about 15 to 20,000 per student.
Statewide,
Uh,
statewide data,
this is national
national.
education. Yeah. I mean, that is 15 to 20K is private school level. Like that's astounding that the results, the outcomes are so inverted. It's like if we're spending 20K on a student, then damn it, they shouldn't be at 30% reading level.
Hmm.
I think the issue I have with that is I don't have any comparison data for that, and I have asked for, well, what does the outcome look like for a private school student? Like, what is the accountability system? This is what I'm afraid of, and
Yeah,
I'm just going to be transparent.
please.
Public school system has been around for years, right? And when it started for it did not start for Black kids or Latino kids. It just didn't, right? And so then you had this mass exodus of people like leaving the public school system. The problem is there aren't any guardrails. And who's to say that if we don't know exactly how kids are doing in private schools, that we will not repeat history and have the same system failure?
Hmm.
So I want to encourage people because my kids have been in every type of school, John. They've been in
Mhm.
private, they haven't been in Montessori, but I
Right.
visited Montessori schools. But my kids have been in every type of school there is. And so I don't have a problem with private school or public school. Parents need to make the informed decision.
Yeah.
I do know that most kids are going to end up in public school. And so that is where my work has been.
Sure.
But
Sure.
I need to know what students are looking like in the private school sector too. Like those
Yeah.
are numbers in order for us to really, as parents, make informed decisions, in order to really move policy
Hmm.
around vouchers, which I got my opinion about vouchers and excellent ways that we can use vouchers that we're
Right.
not even thinking about. In order
Yeah.
to do that, we must have data to make those informed decisions, and nobody's giving it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not to make this political, but the kid who's stuck in a low performing zip code, if
Mhm.
he can get to a school where it's art focused or music focused or sports focused, I mean, why wouldn't you let that kid have a future and get the school he needs?
I
I mean,
did.
uh, uh,
Mine went to a private school and they put him
yeah.
out
I'm just
because he
saying
was struggling.
broadly, it's like it seems like
Yeah.
I'm committed to the
Mhm.
kid.
Mhm.
I'm not committed to the institution or the board
Yes.
or the union.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
that's that's part of
But
the
we need that
problem.
data, John. We need
Sure,
that
sure.
data so that parents can, because what if you send them to a private school that is not performing? That does not mean like
Sure.
parents need every piece of information. I have one that went to private school up until 11th grade for
Yeah.
until the pandemic. I have one that went for a few semesters and got put out. I have two that went all the way through
Yeah.
public schooling. So it's not it's really about making sure that parents have the information that they need
Right.
because a private school may be best for a kid. A public school may be best for a kid. We just don't have the comparison data to even come
Mhm.
to that conclusion. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you guys are pros here. Is it too late? Is it fixable? Or has the system just become so entrenched that it just spits out good teachers and good kids?
I think it's fixable, but I mean, it'll take generations for it to fully be flushed out and start over, you know. But I
Hmm.
do think that it is possible. I don't think we should just give up. Is it going to be easy? No, not at all.
We can't give up on kids.
Yeah,
But if we keep
exactly.
doing the same thing that we're doing, we're going to keep getting the same results. And
Hmm.
somebody has got to hold people accountable. And
Right.
that's these elected officials, the school board members have got to be held accountable. This city just put District 2, 4, 6, and 8 school board members right back in the seats to do the same thing that we're talking about right now. These are the
Hmm.
same school board members that made these same policy 2025, August what 21st. I got to pull it up. I think they approved this grade changing policy.
Yeah.
And they're not saying anything right now. They're going to be there 4 more years. And so this really is about politics. And when I got into this
It
work,
is.
I
I mean,
hated politics. I was
mm,
like, I ain't doing no politics.
yeah.
It really is. It's political in the sense politics equals people.
Yeah.
So I'm not an elected official. I run a nonprofit organization. I can't tell you who to vote for,
Yeah.
but I need to be informing parents who you vote for makes those decisions
Right.
every day. And we continue to keep doing the same old. We're going to keep on having the same problem. So is it fixable? Yes. But if we keep doing the same thing that we keep doing, we're going to keep getting the same
Yeah.
result.
I love that. So in Memphis, I heard recently like the I don't know whether it's the state took over the education system.
Mhm.
At what point do you think that needs to happen in Nashville? If these are fraudulent grades and fraudulent teachers,
Mhm.
I mean that gives me heartburn knowing that thousands of kids are just uh, really don't have a future. I mean, would you recommend that?
A couple things need to happen that's going this way.
Yeah.
This audit. that the city council boldly they finally got some balls
Okay.
and demanded something. This audit is going to tell us everything. We need to know about funding. How do you disrupt a system so powerful? We're talking about this is a school, like most people don't know that MNPS receives 1.3 to 4 billion dollars just from Nashville. That's not even federal money.
Yeah.
That's not even counting state money.
They
This
should
is
be
on,
killing it. Those schools should be turning out the best freaking students.
So where's the money going?
I mean, you got people in Central. Y'all know I'm not afraid to say it. We got folk in Central Office that make six figures, and I can't even tell you what they do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What they do every day. We need, first of all, the couple of things we need to do to change, like reading and math, making sure that our teachers continue to have the professional development that they need. Like in order to build a craft, you have to keep so you have to pour money into our educators and you have to pay them.
Yeah.
We
100%.
cannot do we cannot do
Their
this
salaries need
without
to be doubled.
we can't do it. I
Yeah.
am a parent advocate. I cannot do this without Samira's.
Yeah.
I can't do this. And so
Yep.
we need to make sure that we're investing, we don't lose them, but we're investing in them financially and keep developing them so they can continue to be innovative.
Right.
That's what you do it. Then you make sure you got strong curriculum. Then you make sure you've got data transparency. So they're using that data as they're making decisions, and then you put the interventions where the interventions need to be. This beautiful teacher saying, I am teaching middle school kids who cannot read. Somebody
Mm.
didn't intervene before they got to her.
Yeah.
And so that is how we do that. We're going in that direction as far as a state takeover because
You think so?
we got elected. If you got 9 board members,
Yeah.
that's the only way to do it. Is the mayor can't do it. The mayor doesn't really have any power in education. City council, they're using their power in a different way, but they don't decide what goes on in the
Yeah.
education system. It's the state and it's the
Yeah.
school board in the state, and so
Right.
that's where the change has got to be in my eyes. And the
Hmm.
parents and the teachers. Look, if the teachers would say, we're not changing anybody's grades for this reason, I know they have a policy, but we're going to follow policy, what can they do?
Yeah, it takes more people to speak out, and my voice has gone far, but it can only go so far if I don't have other educators unafraid
Yeah.
to speak out against the system.
Well, it seems like what's happened here in Nashville, Samira, that dam is starting to break.
Yeah,
And I mean, it sounds like the norm is changing grades.
most definitely.
I mean,
In every aspect, the norm is siding with the parents. If the parents
right.
want the grade change, it's done. If the parent doesn't want their kid suspended, it's done. The behaviors, the academics, it's just sickening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
Mm.
tell you, as a parent advocate, we don't want the grade change.
Yeah, because
No.
you are a good
Yeah.
parent. And
Yeah.
It's
when I
like
say
Yeah.
if
parent,
that were my kid, I'd
Yeah.
say, get
Well,
your ass in there,
I
listen to your
haven't, yeah.
teacher, and
Yeah.
do what she told you
I
to
haven't talked to a
do.
parent yet. It's like,
Don't come to me. Go to your
yeah, they're
teacher.
like changing grades. Like,
mm-hmm. And
and that behavior is wrong. That
I
behavior.
think those parents believe that they're doing right by their child by doing that for some reason. And that's it's systemic. It's a foundational, feeling that they have in there, but like I don't know how to change that. Like I think
Yeah.
that like the irate parent that I was dealing with, I think she truly believes she is doing the best. She is fighting for her child left and right, and she is doing amazing work. I think she believes that. And when
Right.
people
Yeah.
believe things like that, how do you say you're completely wrong?
Well, you're the
Because you have
pro.
a system that shouldn't be influenced by that. And
Yeah.
that's why I named you as
Yes.
a systemic failure because you
Yes.
have a policy.
Right.
But this is what's crazy. They won't follow it for some stuff, but then they'll follow it for
Yeah.
others. And it's like,
Yeah.
where is the consistency here?
Yeah.
Because that too influences a parent coming up there saying, you got to do because
Yeah.
if you didn't follow it for something else, then I don't expect you to follow it now.
Mm-hmm. They're picking and choosing when it works best for them.
And they're
Yeah.
creating a lot of this problem for teachers because the school administrator won't just follow the policy.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. This is good, guys. Yeah. So, I mean, this conversation is just starting. I know y'all are gonna, this is in your bones. I know you're not gonna give up. So I consider both y'all heroes. Sonya, thank you for being an advocate for kids. And Samira, thank you for kind of blowing the lid off this in Nashville and it's starting to go national. So I hope that that message continues to blossom. But so if you're talking to a kid, maybe a previous student of yours, and you're not going to see him again, what would be your message, Samira and Sonya? Like, what directly look directly at their eyes, and what do you want to say to them?
Their education is up to them completely. You know, they need to take the what is it, initiative to do their own learning. They got internet, they've got means of doing it. They need to be focused in the classroom, but regardless of their parents forcing them to do something, they need to take ownership of their learning. That's what I would say.
Hmm. I love that.
Thank
I
you.
Sonya,
would
what do you,
I would say to a kid that you got somebody's mama in this city that's never going to give up on you and is going to continue to fight for you and to educate parents to make them aware, and somebody that wants you to reach your greatest potential and sees the genius in you, and that
mm,
it's not going to be easy. And it's not going to always go perfect, but you have everything you need, no matter your color, your zip code, how much money your family has to reach your greatest potential. And I'm going to
Mhm.
fight until God calls me home
mm,
to make sure that you do so.
I love that. Sonya, Samira, thank you so much for carving out some time to talk. This has been something I've been looking forward to, and I think of you guys as heroes, and I look forward to seeing what's next for both of you.
Thank you for having me. And Sonia, I love what you're doing. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. And look, I need to give you my number. I'm here for
Yes,
you. I'm here
y'all
to
y'all
support
need to
you.
lock arms and go to war
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I believe that teachers and parents need to be change agents. I'm gonna say this too. Where's the union?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Where when you where was the freaking union? Where are they?
yeah,
And I got questions. Y'all pay dues and all of that, but I'm here for you. I hope that we can be change agents together. Um,
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you because it took a lot of courage. I
yeah,
talk to teachers all the time who are afraid. And I understand, like these are
It's
people have
scary.
control. Yeah, they can have control of their livelihood. I know they put stuff in their records that they won't even show you, and then you try to get another job. Then
Yeah.
they put something. So I'm here for you, Samira. I'm gonna give you my number. You can call me. I'm
Thank
yeah,
here
you.
to support you and all teachers here in the city.
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Hey, Samira, I know you're an amazing artist. Where
Yeah.
can where
Thank
can
you.
people find your art and buy your art?
Thank you. So right now that's my only income, so I love all the support I can get.
Yeah,
It's called Artwork by Samira on Instagram, Facebook, and then artworkbysamira.com.
I love it.
Thank
Guys,
you.
thank you so much for jumping on and having this conversation. Um, I'm excited about what's in front of both of y'all. So thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
God bless.